And when you don't deal what's happening to you, the response is going to be vicious and it's going to be happening through you. Starting a business should not be something that's hard for you, even if you need to scale your business. Do me a favor right now. Shoot me a DM on Instagram with the word coach at @TheBusinessBully, and we'll see what we can make happen for you. So they told you to stay strong. Yeah, like that helps the pain disappear. No, we're out of the business of trying to just survive for the sake of surviving. Let's talk about healing. More importantly, how to keep your head up in really bad times. I'm not going to lie to you. I've had very tumultuous times in my life. I remember washing up in a gas station sink. I remember losing my stepfather and my grandfather within 2 months of each other. Most recently, I lost my brother. And I'm going to tell you, when I was in the midst of it, one of the hardest things I had to do was find a reason to get up and get out of bed in the morning. We have to stop acting like burying your trauma is somehow a badge of honor. Because what happens when you bury your trauma is it starts to appear in different forms. You start neglecting the things that matter. You start doing things that you know are destructive and counterproductive. And the reason you do that is because you're just trying to get not from week to week or month to month or year to year. You're trying to get from minute to minute, second to second. And no one is showing you that it is okay to find the tools necessary for you to heal. We act like it's a weakness to go to therapy. We act like it is a weakness to unpack our trauma. We act like it's a weakness if we have some type of chemical imbalance and we need something to regulate our emotions. No, it's weak to hide that trauma. It is weak to lash out at people. It is weak to engage in bad behavior because you were never given any tools other than keep it moving in order to deal with what's happening to you. And when you don't deal what's happening to you, the response is going to be vicious and it's going to be happening through you. I'm a big believer in keeping your head up. Absolutely. You got to keep your head up through bad times. I'm not saying don't feel it. I'm telling you to feel it. But while you're keeping your head up, I'm encouraging you to keep your heart open, to keep your mind sharp, to keep your resources attuned to what your needs are. I'm encouraging you to have uncomfortable conversations and say the 3 most empowering words you can say, which is I need help. And a lot of times we think we're going to lose something if we say that we're vulnerable, if we say that we're hurting, if we say that we're going through things, especially men. Brothers, I'm begging you, don't think that it is weak to admit that something is bothering you, something's not quite right. It's okay to be angry. It is not okay to take that anger out on the people that you love, in whatever form you do that. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and I ain't proud of it. That's why I don't wear that shirt anymore. I put on a brand new shirt, and that shirt says, I am not healed, but I'm healing. I have done harm, but I'm trying my best to be helpful. And the fact that we have organizations out here like Black Men Heal, that we have therapy becoming normalized and brothers are having conversations, not all of us, but more of us than I've seen in a very long time, saying, yo, I learned this in my therapist session and this has helped me, right? That we have accountability partners, whether that's at the gym, whether that's at the job, whether that is online, in Zoom or whatever, to lean on people who have been where we're trying to go or gotten out of the hole we've dug ourselves into. That's powerful. I need you to know that you've already survived the thing that you thought was going to kill you. That's not shameful. That's power. Because every day that you have survived beyond the thing that was designed to break you proves that you can do more, that you're capable of being more, and that you have the skills to survive. What I'm challenging you to do is to develop the skills to thrive. Sometimes you feel like you're too old or your time has passed you by. If your time has passed you by, you'd be dead. You're not. You are not too late. You're on what I would call a divine delay. My wife says everything happens in divine order, and she will tell you, any of my friends will tell you, my partners will tell you, I am not a very patient man when it comes to what I believe my success is. I'm always looking for the next thing. That's the thing that's broken in me. Full disclosure here. I'm looking for the next mountain to climb. I want to plant my flag on it. And once I get to the top of that mountain, I look off into the distance and I see a bigger mountain. So I leave whatever flag I just planted at the top of the mountain I'm standing on, and I slide down that mountain like I'm Sonic the Hedgehog, and I go barreling to the next mountain because I want more. Because I was taught at a very early age that achievement is not enough. Overachievement is not enough. Be the task great or small, do it right or not at all, and be better than the best of them. Because you're not judged by your body of work. You're judged by what you did lately. We live in a real Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately society. And if you're not popping, you've popped. And I don't mean that in a good way. I mean that like you popped in a Yvonne Orgy version of Pop the Balloon that nobody wants to watch. You got to start realizing that there is joy in the victories that you don't recognize. There's a victory when my daughter tells me, Daddy, can you read me 2 bedtime stories? Or Daddy, just stay with me for a while until I drift off to sleep. There's a victory in coming home to a house where somebody loves you more than you love yourself. There's a victory in providing for your family where nobody's there to clap or watch or give a like on Instagram. There is a victory in spending quality time with the person that you pledged in front of God to love, that you don't go and have to post on social media in order to get validation from people who aren't in your relationship, your partnership, or your marriage. There is victory in having an adult child who loves you and is now reaping the benefits of the lessons that you were trying to teach them early on in life, but they weren't in a place to actually hear those lessons. There is victory in moving forward. And a lot of times what happens is we keep going back to the same thing. Real strength is not in pretending. Real strength is in not folding, in realizing that sometimes some of your problems are bigger than you. I know you've heard Jan Van Zandt and whichever particular psychological practitioner talk about the generational wounds of trauma that Black people carry. Hate to break it to you, it's real. We carry a lot of trauma that we never asked for. And then we carry the trauma of what's happened to us throughout our lives. I know people who are still, to this day, can't tell you what came on TV last night, but can tell you everything that happened to them in 3rd grade at recess. Because nobody ever taught them to deal with that. And I'm also going to tell you that not only are you carrying generational trauma, but you're also carrying generational hopes and dreams and wishes and prosperity unfulfilled by your ancestors. You are your ancestors' wet dream, whether you choose to recognize it or not. And there is power in that. What you're able to do with the chance of having another breath in your lungs is creating legacy, rewriting the narrative, and changing the direction and the arc of the story that you've been telling yourself. Here's how you move forward. Acknowledge that you are in pain. Even if you don't feel like the pain is that bad and you can rock through it. Well, I hate to break it to you. You don't need to be Paul, who wrote 75% of the New Testament, in order to write a New Testament, because he walked around with the pain inside of him. It wasn't too bad of a pain that he couldn't do his divine work, but we rest on our pain and we never acknowledge it. You can't heal what you won't reveal. You can't undo what you won't spend time in therapy talking about and coming to terms with. It's okay to get help. It does not make you weak. It sets you free. And I'm praying for your freedom right now. If you need an accountability partner, you need someone to talk to, I've got plenty of resources. You can always send an email to Dave at Business Bully Show, or find me on Instagram at The Business Bully if you've got a question for Ask Dave Anderson. And I'm praying right now that you recognize your trauma, that you get into therapy, that you talk to somebody, and that you do everything you can to heal before the way you lash out comes back to bite you in the ass.